Oh yeah,
Saying I've got off air still.
What's going on?
I can see you.
Off air in the top right.
It
No,
says
mine shows live for me.
live for me.
Oh well, I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. I've got live now as well. So here we are.
It takes a little longer getting to Cornwall.
Yeah.
The donkey and cart.
At 1840 here. Still have
Yeah.
a famine like Ireland.
So, does anybody care if Ozil goes in January?
Yeah, I do. I really care because I really want it to happen.
I've got to say, I'm with him. And the reason I'm with him is that this is a guy who's just down and out on his luck, and the crowd is on his back, and he's made of eggshells. That's his problem.
Yeah.
However, he's brilliant. He is a brilliant player. There's no doubting. And we seem to have the ability now to bring a brilliant player to our team and make them, as everybody keeps saying, comfortable, and make it all too nice. And if they don't do well, don't worry the next time. Even Wenger in his interview said, "Oh, we miss chances." Yeah, we do, but that was the chance to win a game.
Yeah.
So
I think it's worse than making them comfortable. I think we've ruined great players.
I think they ruin them. Yeah.
Really do. Do you know what I mean? People laugh about players that go on from Arsenal to other teams and you know never do as well again. But isn't the case that actually we actually finish them as great players? I mean, you know, whilst no one wants to see the Ox do well in some guise or another, isn't it a bit sad at the same time to see a player that's sitting on a bench at Liverpool?
Yeah, that shot that Ozil missed. Gomez was going the other way on the ground. He had the far post wide open. Mm-hmm. You know, his grandmother could have kicked that in. And when he missed it, the look on him, he's a finished man. You know.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? That he looks beaten. If you watch, because sometimes I watch his tweets or his comments and stuff. And you can see that it's really getting to him. It's eating him alive and everything.
Have you seen the one tonight about his birthday wishes? I thank you for the good times and the bad times. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out which one of those two he's experiencing right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, you know, here's the thing. If you put him in a team and Ramsey is there and probably Sanchez, he does a lot better. Mm-hmm. It's because that's because Ramsey right now is one of our players that just happens to be going quite well, and another player I love because he does try. In fact, actually, I know that Koscielny probably got injured, but when I saw Jack Wilshere coming up and then going back off, initially I thought, "Oh Jesus Christ, we've got a dithering manager who's changing his mind mid-thing." That's what I thought, which is unthinkable for a manager to do. But that's what Ozil needs beside him. He needs somebody with like a bit of fight in them, you know.
He could have still brought him on, as everyone's saying.
He should have brought him on. Yeah.
Drops the back four, but he's stubborn.
Wenger's second
Yeah.
guessing himself. You know,
He's third and fourth.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of confidence in the manager, definitely. You know, but I mean, going back to Ozil very quickly, and then we should move on and talk about the game, I suppose. But he's trapped in his own nightmare, isn't he, Ozil?
Yeah.
He's at a that he doesn't want to be at anymore, and no one's buying him. No one wants to buy him. That's for me. That's written all over him.
It's a disaster.
At Arsenal, wants to get the money that he wants. I can't see him going anywhere else, and he's going to end up being trapped in a mid-table team, performing worse and worse.
It's really unfortunate, isn't it, to see, and especially this is a quality player. This is a player who can pick a pass out and, you know, can move the ball. And when he can score, when he's at the time when he was scoring and be able to score goals, then he hasn't been prolific for us.
Yeah.
But the man can put the ball away. And I mean, the whole team is shot in confidence.
Yeah.
However, it's all got a bit too comfortable and nice, and I think that just goes through the team, goes into him. And this is a guy who really needs to be able to, you know, he needs good players around him, and he needs his confidence up, and he needs hugs and stuff. So
Yeah.
Let's move on to the game. Let's forget about the second half.
yeah, yeah, we talk about the first half. Yeah, it wouldn't be great. Well, we weren't even good in the first half. We just weren't as bad as them.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely right. We were a pile of shit yesterday. As Arsblog, I think, said earlier, it's such an Arsenal performance. No one's even surprised anymore. It's a pathetic capitulation.
We expected it. That's the problem.
There's no leader on the pitch. Nobody.
Yeah.
No.
It's just,
absolutely.
It is dreadful.
There's a shot of Xhaka picking his nose on the 16-yard box whilst that goal's going in. I mean,
you're kidding. I had seen the clip and I saw where he was. I was thinking, Jesus Christ, what's he doing out there? You know, I couldn't believe it, and I didn't realize he was digging for green gold. Unbelievable.
Well, had his thumb somewhere else.
Yeah, up his cronky. that's my word. That's my word from now on.
There's another one for you.
yeah.
Oh, hello, for a broken McCronky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Unbelievable. You know, it is unbelievable. But you know what? I mean, I think we were talking before yesterday, right after the game, and every one of us said that when we came into the beginning of the second half, you could actually see from the team that they sort of lost, that they didn't come out quick enough, whereas Watford did. And then when Danny Welbeck came off, it was just, oh my God. And I know people complain about his misplaced passes, but the guy runs around like a lunatic, and he tries, and he's got high energy.
Absolutely, and he's got heart as well. He actually
and heart. A damn sight more than most people.
You know, he's come from Old Trafford. He's played in winning teams. He's one of the few, frankly, that's left in our side, as far as I'm concerned, that seems to have remembered that. Even as you said, Ozil, you know, I mean, these are guys that have won the World Cup, and look at the way they're playing. I mean, they're playing.
I know. We had 2 World Cup winners on our team yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's just like, Jesus Christ, how have we done that? But again, it's, you know.
And look at how many titles and how many cups has Czech won. He's won the European Cup, for God's sake.
Yep. Yeah.
But, you know, it turns my stomach looking at Wenger now. You know, this he's just befuddled on the sideline, you know. He's gone from struggling with his zipper to just struggling with the world. I mean, he just can't put anything together, you know.
No.
And his subs are always stupid, you know.
He should have won the FA Cup. Should have gone out on a high.
Yeah, he should have. But it's not going to. One, it's not going to happen. 2, it's not going to happen next year. He's going to stay because you're dealing with an owner that doesn't care about mediocre. He just cares about the bottom line. The only thing I hope for next year, I might get sidetracked in this, is that the actual season ticket holders say, screw this. I mean, I haven't had the season ticket now for 3 years. So,
well, they may be close to that, you know.
I think so. You know? I don't think they're reading the fans properly. But on the game, you are right. Bringing Ozil on at a time when it was clear that we were struggling anyhow to get our arm around it. That's when you need like a Jack Wilshere on the pitch. Somebody who's going to run about and get the stuck tackle. I don't care if Jack Wilshere comes on for 30 minutes and does a tackle to break somebody's leg, but he's getting stuck in there. Because for anybody who watched after BT Sports, Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
Troy Deeney was interviewed, and he said exactly what every single fan knows, and that includes all our clubs we play against, every single team. He said the following. He said, we all know that if you get stuck into them, they have no kahunas. He says, they got no kahunas. He says, I knew the first tackle I got stuck in. He says, once they chickened off, he says, I knew that I could play it on. He said, you know, albeit ignoring the penalty, which was a shocking decision. No matter, a team like Arsenal, when we lose a penalty, lose a goal like that, we should say, screw this, get up and fight and win and stick on Jack Wilshere, who's going to give you a game, not take Danny Welbeck off anyhow.
Yeah.
What a stupid substitution.
This coming from a player who's 15 stone, right? You know?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think there was an inevitability about it yesterday, and it's the same again. You know, we're going away Thursday, and honestly, I'm not going to watch it. I couldn't be bothered. And then I think we've got Everton, don't we? We're away to Everton. I bet you I won't watch that game. Well, I probably will, but
what a perfect time for Everton to get their
win
against their fans. Over our team.
Exactly. The fact that Everton just drew a game means that they need to win one for the manager. And who's going to come out and play for their manager quicker? The Arsenal players for Wenger or the players for Koeman? And we know what the answer to that is.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it was, but I saw a tweet retweeted by someone yesterday after the match. And they had literally written about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, after Man City had done Watford 6-0. What a pathetic Watford side. But you watch, they're going to have an absolute renaissance when they play Arsenal and probably win 3-1. He just retweeted it, didn't say a single word.
Yeah, okay.
I just wrote psychic.
No, I don't think you don't have to be a psychic to predict that. Again, no fight in the team, and they know when they get stuck in. We don't have a player. We don't have our Paddy Vieiras, our Emmanuel Petit. We don't have a player that will get stuck into for their team. Yeah. And that's it. And they all these, and Troy Deeney said this. He said, we know that the skill is in this team. We know that the ability is in Arsenal, but we know that we'll always go out there and we can beat them. And he said, even when I came on, he said, I knew we could beat them. And I think he went on to say, once the penalty had happened, he said, we could see the momentum was in our way. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. I think everybody knew it was coming, except for probably Wenger and the team, who seemed a bit surprised because they're too busy picking their nose while it's being scored.
What does that tell you, Cathal? Everybody sees it except Wenger, I mean, God.
No, that's it. Yeah. No, that is it. It's tragedy.
If we were 2-0 up, 3-0 up, it wouldn't have mattered. We'd have been able to ride it out. But we can't get games. We got, frankly, a header from Mertesacker that we had no right having. I mean, I can't remember who it was. Was it Cleverly marking him?
Yeah, Cleverly was marking him. That's right.
A foot over him. I mean, it was
a bomb. And, in fairness, Watford did this. They were talking about it at half time, and they were right. Watford kept doing this. We just had to keep putting the balls in there, because with the way they do their zonal stuff, they were all over the place at the back, and we would have stuck in. And I hate to say it, but any of the teams in the top 6 would have beaten that team yesterday, especially if they'd have gone 1-0 up. Some of them because they're boring and they shut down their defence, but I'd take it. I'd take boring right now with a closed defence rather than the headless chicken stuff we turn up and they just.
Cathal, did you see the pundits on NBC? The one young guy, Martino, what's his name?
I know the Spanish guy. I know you talking about.
Yeah. He said at the half, he said, okay, now they're up 1-0. What I want to see them do is ride this out. Keep this 1-0, play it tough, keep your shape. Let's see if Arsenal can do it, or they're going to go back to the old Arsenal stuff. And he was absolutely right. They just fell apart in the second half.
Yeah, I know. Because he probably knew what we were going to do, which was, even though things were not exactly going our way when Danny Welbeck was taken off, they were not that bad. But the minute Ozil came on, it got a lot worse, because you don't bring Ozil on when you're 1-0 up in a game that you're struggling to keep a hold of. You
don't have to be a genius to realize that, No,
everybody knows it. But again, as you said, Wenger didn't know what he was doing. It's just, he could have brought anybody on. He could have brought Callum on at that stage. Was that because I think that's what he did in the end when he swapped it out, because Koscielny, if Koscielny got injured, and I haven't had time to read it because I've been trying to avoid all things Arsenal since the game yesterday.
Well,
wouldn't that be nice?
Let's move on to something else. I spoke to a friend of mine who writes at ESPN FC, and he's been right on a lot of things. He's got good sources, but he says there's something going on behind the scenes between Usmanov and Kroenke. He says one or the other is getting bought out in the next couple of weeks. He figures.
Usmanov's gone then.
Yeah, because his statement did leave it open at the end, and the price that was offered was a crap price, and if that happens, forget it.
Well, he did offer close to $1 billion.
Right, but if I remember correctly, the share price at the time, unless I could be wrong here, but I remember reading that when it was offered out from Usmanov was the one who offered over like 30,000 quid per share when you did the calculation, and Kroenke offered 28,000 back, 28,500, I think, back. So I could be wrong, but I recall it was something like that. I'd have to go back and check the numbers. And the only way for Usmanov to leave will be in the 30s. I would say probably 32, 33, pay over the odds, a bit over the odds, because let's face it, once Kroenke then pulls the club in, it's his cash cow, he can do anything he wants, and Arsenal is doomed.
Doomed is right.
No, doomed.
Yeah,
I actually think that, I think he'd run a huge risk, because when the fans see it happening, they're next year, they won't believe in the season tickets. And I think you'll see that we'll have difficulty in the next 2 to 3 years filling those stadiums.
I think we're going to have difficulty in the next 2 or 3 seasons staying mid-table. You know?
Yeah, if that happens, oh God, it's just, I hope it's Usmanov. I really hope it's Usmanov.
You know, it's
at least with Usmanov, he'll go do it the other way, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Kroenke is the face hugger from Alien, as I said before. Once he's on,
yeah, I know,
latched on, and he's never sold, has he? He's never sold any franchise.
He's not a selling guy, but you never know. No. He is a businessman, so you know.
He's a businessman.
You know.
You never know. It's if you consider the number he could get out of this. You know, if he could work his way up to 2.6, 2.7. How much was he offered? I think he was offered 2.2. Is it by Usmanov? If he could get himself up to 2.6, 2.7, maybe it's a huge chunk of his empire.
Yeah.
You know, let him go off and buy Accrington Stanley then.
Yeah, but you know, if he owns Arsenal outright, he'll take it over to Delaware and re-register it there.
Yeah, he will. And we're done.
And then
then we're done.
Yeah, he'll just suck. He's just suck all the money out of it. That's all. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we're done.
But he'll use it as leverage for borrowings against other things as well.
Yeah. But he could find himself in trouble with the fans walking away. You know, Arsenal will drop down out of all the Europe spots. You'll start losing. No players will come to them, and he'll turn us into Stoke. Seriously, he will. He will.
I'm more worried about him turning us into Leeds.
Oh, yeah, or alternatively Leeds. Yeah, Leeds, Coventry. Look at the way these teams have been, you know, taken, and
we'll be left picking coal at low tide.
That's that's it. With our finger up our Kroenke.
Look what he's done to the Rams and St.
I know.
Louis. You know, get the city council to build a new stadium and then literally fuck over the place that he comes from to take it away.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's actually when I went back and last year when things were really bad, I actually went back and looked at every team he bought, where they were, what happened to them, and so forth. And it's unbelievable. He just, you know, he ruins these, and basically he screws every fan.
Yeah,
that's, you know, and it's a killer.
He's not interested in the fans. He's not interested in.
No, he doesn't care.
They win or lose, or you know.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get cut with Arsenal, though. I think that's going to be his thing, because fans will, if we turn into Leeds, that club is valueless, and he'll have turned away from 2.5, 2.6 billion, and it will be worth at the end of this. If we fall out of the league, and there is potential for this, if the fans turn on you and the players don't come, that's what can happen.
Well, we're starting to look like Leeds already. We've built a brand new, beautiful stadium, and downhill, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Jesus, I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Seriously,
and actually, I don't know if you've been watching on Goonerverse, if you've been seeing going down, the amount of people saying, I have unsubscribed, I cancelled my subscription. And I've been watching that lately, a lot more of them, people saying it, you know. And Arsenal are no longer the team where it was great for Sky, it was great for BT and all these companies, you know, that here, you know. And considering how Fox have just been screwed over the US, I think these guys are going to watch out more before they invest their money saying, you know, Arsenal is a surefire thing. Not anymore. We're not good to look. We're not good to watch anymore. We are probably if you're the other fans.
Yeah.
You know, I love watching the other team when they're getting screwed. I think you've seen my post this week about whoever posted about United and Liverpool. I think you know exactly how I feel about watching the other team. However, if the other team is always going to lose and they're so bad when they go away from home, I'll watch them.
Yeah.
I'll watch Liverpool or Spurs. You can't beat it, but no,
it's like basically it's a guaranteed car crash, isn't it?
This is it.
Why Sky keep putting it on? Because they know that
they know.
We're going to get our asses handed to us every game. You know,
like,
there's a classic Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob's walking around the front lawn of the Simpsons house, and there are rakes everywhere. And every step he takes, a rake, he just treads a rake and it smacks him in the face. That's possible right now. You know, every rake in the face.
Yep. I know.
Of late, apart from, you know, smacking someone, Boris Johnson abroad or whatever, our best result was a 0-0 at Chelsea, where we effectively parked the bus.
Yeah.
I remember the last time we won domestically.
Well, we haven't won away from home this year yet.
We've only won 14 points away from home in 2017.
Oh, that says it all. That's relegation.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's bad relegation as well. It's like 10 points off where, 10, 12 points. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just... No wonder we don't like watching them away from home. Even at home, sometimes it's just nervous. You get, even if Arsenal is 2-0 up and there's 10 minutes to go, I'm still not enjoying the game. I'm tense.
He's taken the beauty out of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, he has.
He managed to create such a beautiful team and then destroy it.
No, he created a beautiful team. He had great players. And then whatever happened, there was, Martin Keown was saying as they were watching a player go and what they were feeling yesterday, he says, but they were always looking at the door to see the new guy coming in, and this was what was happening. Yeah. But the last time that happened was when Patrick Vieira walked out the door.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the last. I remember being at the final, that final with my mother and my friend, and thinking, this is great. Even with Paddy Vieira going, you're thinking, okay, what brilliant player is going to come in? And it just didn't happen. And it was because he had this idea about beautiful play, open, and what Kevin Keegan thought about Newcastle. And we all know how that went. What he thought about Newcastle, that's what Wenger's idea is. Goonverse is handed to us every bloody game. And I hate watching it. I imagine the players, how they must feel.
We've had some bad luck. I mean, Abby Diaby getting injured because he was the new Vieira, and I'm really genuine.
He was the potential.
He was. But, you've got to move on. You've got to move with the times. And if you can't move with the times, then in most clubs, you're out the door. But the problem is, he isn't out the door. And he knows he's... And the players know he's safe. And he protects the players as well.
And the players know they're safe.
Come out, he's there in front of the cameras sticking up for them. But that shouldn't happen. And he should be on edge about his job. That's how performances are driven, with that stress. And it's so cozy for all of them.
I know. This is it. It's just, and any ex-professional that goes in the door and they come out, they're interviewed later, always the next month or two, they always say it. They said, everything's so nice there, isn't it? And I mean, look at Walcott. Look at Ox. Only because he wanted to go, Wenger would have kept him. And, this is just Walcott, just for the amount of money the guy is paid. And you look around the league at players being paid half the amount he is and delivering twice as much, not as much skill as him, but delivering more, delivering tackles at the back, which would be nice. Yeah. Tracking back and... I know. It's just...
Clearly, you don't have to do that. Look at Xhaka yesterday. Kick your nose, whatever.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, somebody should post that.
There's a saying in Spanish. It's called yegua, and it refers to the female donkey, but it's used in a way that means it's a beautiful horse that just sits in the field and doesn't do anything. It just stands there and looks magnificent. That's what our players are. They're all jaguars. They just stand in the pitch doing nothing.
Well, I don't know if you have it where you guys are, but in the UK we call that show pony.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everyone phrase luxury player at the moment. They're not luxury players. They're fucking show ponies.
Yeah. All of them. And again, I would say now I see two players trying that I can see in the entire team. Ramsey and Welbeck are trying. And probably Cech, although he's not shouting enough. But Cech, because he's in the goal, and he does, all things considered, the chaos in front of him, he's doing quite well. And I know people slag him off because he hasn't saved a penalty and so forth, or at least for us, apparently he hasn't. I don't know if that's a correct statistic or not, because I thought he did. He's done enough. I would say when Courtois missed the penalty, a lot of it is down to the goalkeeper moving and giving the eye and doing stuff. So you have to be good to do that. But you cannot blame Cech for the woes that are in front of him.
Mm-hmm. And I hope that referee looks at the film after of that penalty.
It'll be interesting to see if they do. They should. This is one of the. It doesn't help us at all. But it'd be interesting if they look at this and say he definitely went down. There's no doubt about it. You can see his legs go. The only one I saw somewhat defending him was Robbie Bloody Savage. So let's just kick that into touch. Forget about that. Even when Mike alone says, "Oh yes, that's a dive," you think, Jesus Christ, hold on. He's like, So it was a dive. They did on Match of the Day. I don't know why I watched Match of the Day, but I watched Match of the Day last night, and I think one of them out there was sort of saying, "Well, now." You have to go down. They defended it by Rodriguez, who didn't go down when he was played at home against us. And I get that, by the way. That probably should have been a penalty. West Brom, if you remember.
Yes.
So you can understand why the players might do it. But this is an out-and-out dive. It should be 2 matches ban. I would also say on top of that, a $50,000, $75,000 fine. If not the player, to the club. Let them know. Give it a message. Give it to 50,000. Give it back to the fans or something. In fact, give it to the fans of the opposing team. Oh, God, that would be great. But, of course, there's no way that the FA is giving cash away, or Sky, that's for sure. There's only one way that cash flow goes.
Yeah, they need the graft money.
The FA's offices in Soho Square, there's a fucking padlock on them.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think this is one that they have to. There's not a sane pundit out there or anybody out there who truly believes that guy didn't dive. So stick to too much ban on him at all. We should have still not lost that game. We should have won the game after. But the fact remains, and maybe
the fact remains that we lost.
The fact remains we lost. And it was only 2-1, so, in a way I was like, oh, okay, everybody was predicting 3-1. 2-1, woo! But, and now we've got, Thursday to look forward to?
Oh, Belgrade away, Red Star, and then Everton.
Everton away, isn't it?
Yeah, Everton away next Sunday. Not looking good at all.
Well, gentlemen, that's our time today.
Yeah. Thank God.
Good. Yeah, thank God.
How the time goes when you're bitching, doesn't it?
I know. Yeah. Definitely going to have a drink.
That's a great experience, but I'm sure that it'll run on and on. And, let's pray that it's Usmanov that's doing the buying in the next few weeks.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
All right, let's call it a day.
Hello to everyone.